The year is 2025. The F1 season is now in full swing, heading into the 6th round of the season. With big storylines between the McLaren duo, Verstappen overperforming his car once again, and Williams are back. But one story stands above them all. One storyline I did not expect heading into 2025, and that is disqualifications. Before 2024, F1 had 5 disqualifications from 2021 to 2024. But in 2025, we've already had 4 disqualifications in 5 races. That's almost on average 1 a race. So, being as I am obsessed with F1, I thought it's high time I took a look into these disqualifications and figured out exactly what is going on and whether or not we will be seeing this more regularly this season. And what I found is alarming. So make sure to watch the whole video, make sure to like and subscribe as it really helps the channel. But anyway, let's get on to this disqualification journey together. Now, if I was to go through every reason you could be disqualified in a Formula 1 race / season, we would be here for about a whole day. There's a lot of ways you can actually cock up in F1, as being disqualified can occur if a car or driver has been removed from a race or season due to a violation of the rules. Being as you can be disqualified for the following: a breach in the sporting, technical, financial and operational regulations of the sport. And I'll show you just one of what one of those regulations look like. Yeah, it's hundreds of pages of regulations if you combine it all together. A lot of ways to screw up, and that's why F1 teams have to be so precise. Now, some of the most famous / iconic disqualifications we all know in F1, of course, are McLaren getting disqualified from the full 2007 after being in that cheating scandal, Spygate after stealing documents from Ferrari. We also have the Senna and Prost incident where Senna was disqualified after the Japanese Grand Prix after both Senna and Prost collided. And then we also have another famous one of Michael Schumacher in '97 getting disqualified from the full season because of unsportsmanlike behaviour, trying to crash into Villeneuve to keep the title alive. But the gist of it is, disqualifications come in all shapes and sizes, and that's what makes 2025's disqualifications so interesting, because there has only been 2 types of disqualification this season, one of them a little less important, but the big one is we're getting the same issue with the skid block multiple times. So we'll start off with the less important of the disqualifications, as I do believe there is no rhyme or reason to this one, and I'll get into why. This is when a car is underweight, and now we have seen this twice, both in the Chinese Grand Prix with Leclerc and Gasly. So in F1, for anyone who didn't know, cars have to be a specific weight or above. And in UK standard units, that would be approximately 36,088 chocolate digestives, which for all my international viewers is 800 kilograms. So if your car even just has 1 less chocolate biscuit than the 36,088, you will be scrutinized, as the FIA have to draw a line at a specific point and they can't vary from this. And this is exactly what happened with Leclerc and Gasly. With Leclerc in China, it was revealed that his car was less than 800 kilograms. Now, originally, he came in at exactly 800 kilograms with a bit of his wing damaged. However, Ferrari were allowed to replace that wing, put on the new wing. However, even after all of this, once the oil was taken out of the car, Leclerc's came in at 799 kilograms, which is of course less than that 800 needed, which is a definite no questions asked disqualifications. And a very similar thing happened to Gasly. His car came in around 800 kilograms, they then took out the fuel and it ended up at 799. And the main cause for this would be tyre degradation, as both Gasly and Leclerc coming into this weekend thought they would be doing 2 stops, then changed to the 1-stop strategy. They damaged their tyres too much, and that was the few kilograms they needed lost. And so that is why they didn't get to that 800 kilogram mark, but also why it is one of the less important disqualifications we've seen in 2025, as this very much is just team mistakes. Ferrari and Alpine cocked up, trying to go for the 1-stop, made the car underweight. very much team based. We're probably not going to see a lot more of that, and if we do, like I mentioned, there's going to be no rhyme or reason. It will be at races where strategies change around in the race, very similar to what happened to Russell in Spa in 2024. So in my opinion, these will not happen a lot more. I'd be surprised even if we had another race like that, as teams are very normally cautious with all of this. However, the next disqualification is where things get interesting, because these disqualifications have to do with the wear on the skid block of the F1 car. So what is a skid block? So the skid block are the planks on the bottom of an F1 car. I'll show what it looks like on a photo right now. And basically what these do is they make sure the car maintains a minimum ride height, preventing the cars from running too low to the floor, and also while doing this helps protect the cars from any curbs or bumpy surfaces. This is also why we see sparks coming off an F1 car, because on these planks we get titanium plates embedded into them, which is what is hitting the floor of the track. And so you might be thinking to yourself, what is the big issue with all of this then? How do teams cock this up? And well, in F1, the lower down your car is to the floor, you can gain an advantage in the high speed corners and your top speed. And that is it. It's all about advantage going into a Grand Prix weekend. And with how close the 2025 grid actually is right now in this season, it means teams are pushing the limits of exactly how low they can bring their cars to the floor, which then results in more damage taken than they thought would happen. So the short answer to this whole question is the lower you run your car to the floor means the bigger advantage you can get in the top speed or high speed corners. However, it also means that there will be more wear to the skid block, as guess what, it's going to be hitting the surface of the floor a lot more. And this is what teams have been finding out. As in China, Lewis Hamilton was disqualified for this exact reason, as the skid block has to be a minimum of 9mm to pass FIA's testing at the end of the race, and Lewis Hamilton came in around 8.5 to 8.6mm. And the crazy thing is, even though I was talking about advantages, this type of wear, being so close to 9mm, probably actually didn't help Lewis Hamilton at all. It then just means that the FIA have to draw a line somewhere, and that's why he got disqualified. And then only 2 races later, we had the exact same thing with Nico Hülkenberg's car. So it was a complete different team, a complete different driver, the exact same issues. Nico Hülkenberg came in around 8.4 to 8.5mm, his Sauber was disqualified. And so again, with how close the F1 season is going to be in 2025, teams are looking for these little advantages they can gain, and teams, when they set up their cars, are going to be pushing the max from their cars. And that's what makes these disqualifications interesting, because yes, this is a team mistake for setting up the cars too low to the floor. However, this means these are the fine margins F1 teams have to go to be the best of the best. And that's why I'm a little bit worried heading into the rest of the 2025 to see if anything like this carries on happening. So do I think we'll be getting a skid block disqualification every single race weekend? Of course not. But I do think we'll see a couple more in the 2025 season. Yes, not crazy amounts, probably only 2 max more. But even just that would mean 6 disqualifications in 2025, which is unheard of in the modern era of F1. So what do you all think about these disqualifications? Do you think we'll be seeing any more disqualifications for underweight cars? Do you think we'll be seeing any more disqualifications for skid block wear? Do you think we'll get a driver disqualification because of some crashes they had? Because let's get real, 2025, I do think it's going to get very juicy for this championship season. Or potentially, do you see any disqualifications for the flexi wings happening after Spain, as some teams try to be a little bit cheeky trying to keep their advantage? Only time will tell. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you like what you saw, like and subscribe, make sure to turn on notifications, and I will see you all on Wednesday for my everything you need to know about the Miami Grand Prix video. As always, have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you all later. Take care.